Good day and welcome to another episode of the Adobo Collection podcast. This is your host, Marco, and it's been a while since we released a new material. So, na-miss namin kayo. It's been 3 weeks, I think. So, today we are joined with Ate Coleen. If you were not familiar of Ate Coleen, she's been with us for many episodes and she has been giving us Adobo Talks as well, our mini episode or a mini series or mini podcast, if that's how you term it. Na-miss namin kayo and matagal kaming walang material. Kaya eto, nag-release kami ngayon. Just stories. We didn't plan this. We just decided to meet up on a weekend and no questions. We just tried to make kumustahan. Kumustahan lang kami kung kung ano yung ginagawa namin ngayong time of pandemic, kung kumusta ang Thailand, kumusta ang Baguio, kumusta ang Manila. And we shared some stories as well as some of the books that we're reading or we have read before na nagbigay ng impact sa amin or somehow affected our personality. So sana ma-enjoy nyo itong episode na to. It's just very simple and talagang gusto lang namin magkwento. And we hope that our kwentos will somehow affect you as well on how you see things.
My book naman is gonna come out na pretty soon. Medyo inaano lang ng layout artist. Kasi she wants to read it para she can siguro lay it out as much as she wants para maganda. So sabi ko, yeah, you take your time, things take time.
Tama. How did you get published, ate? Like,
I just wrote it and got an editor and then she edited the book and then I've not sent it for publishing yet. It's gonna be an ebook because I just wanted to have, it's one of my passion project kasi parang every year, ever so often, diba, you want to give something back to, diba, it's contributing, it's the seeds that will, it's the fruits of what you've learned so far. Ang dami mong natutunan, ang dami mong nalalearn. So you also want to affect change kasi to the people around you. So the best, I'm very limited in terms of interaction sa team ko lang. So sabi ko, it was one of my questions. Sabi ko, how do I start affecting more, trying to reach out to more people. So I started writing a book. I think that was 2 years back now, not last 2019. Mm-hmm. So I finished it. So it was 1 year in the making. So I finished it. Siyempre, dying back and forth. I finished it ng 2019, 2020. Ngayon, 2021. And then, so, natapos na, di ba, yung editor ko she proofread it. I just wanted to make sure that it had clarity to it, no? I didn't, because those were my random thoughts. So when I write, I just write. And then, finally, it's under the layouting. So sabi ko, you just take time because I wanted it also naman. It was supposed to come out on Feb. So, but I've not sent it pa for publishing. Kasi if you want to get it published, you have to send it to the companies about to have it published officially. So it's gonna come out as an ebook first. So just so, it's just that I didn't want to go through that route because it's gonna take time for me to share it to others. My goal naman was just to help.
Mm-hmm.
It was, yeah. So along the way, yeah.
Parang second na lang yung to get published. Ang importante is to spread muna yung
if by any chance somebody gets somebody it's it officially published, then I'll consider it. It's just for me to be able to speak your message. No? It's finding your truth and be able to share it. Because somehow that message will resonate to some people around you. No, somebody needs to hear that message. Then that's basically what you want. Para lang hindi sayang yung talent na binigay sa'yo ni God.
Mm, mm,
Diba?
mm,
Parang kayo
tama.
here, 'di ba? You've been talking about teenage pregnancies, 'di ba? Ang ganda. I've listened to that. Yung mga kasi that story is that one story told is one story that can help others, eh,
Tama.
'di ba?
Yes
I mean,
po. That's why we never stopped talking.
Yeah, don't
tama.
stop kasi you might not know if that one person you just need to have one heart that can learn from a story that's 'di ba, that's shared, and the lesson uh that you 'di ba, that's learned along the way. You'll never know kasi how much that becomes a catalyst of change to somebody that needs to hear it. So 'di
Mm,
ba, I keep telling you, it's not your job to don't make it a goal to monetize it. Don't make it a goal to just be out there and make it a goal to just spread out goodness, no, to the people
Okay.
around you. And God finds ways to reward you back of the value that you put out. Just keep on putting that valuable content where people can can learn, no, along the way. Because
mm,
somehow somebody will learn a lesson, eh,
mm.
'di ba?
Kasi kami rin po mismo, we also learned.
Yeah. I also learned nga from now. I also listening.
And that's the goal naman talaga.
So Marco, how has life treated you so far?
Nice. Ano ba? Ang hirap maghanap ng descriptor. Pero maganda naman. I mean, recently, ang dami kong napuntahan dito sa Thailand. May trip kaming pinuntahan. Um, and napakaganda na, yun nga, tulad ng sabi ninyo, yung stories and experiences, the way it affects people. Kaya nga, as much as I can, I started documenting na, not as a vlog, kasi I don't know, parang deny ko pa rin sa sarili ko na hindi siya vlog. And kasi I don't want to be part of, I don't know if it's a fad. Parang ayoko lang maki-join ganon. Pero I still try to document kasi it's easier para sa akin. And ayun, I try to release yung mga documentation o yung mga videos ko every week. Yun yung inaasikaso ko nung wala pang projects for the Adobo Collection podcast. So, na-document ko lang. May mga napuntahan akong places like yung ang ganda ng system. It's a children's refuge na school. It's called Mubandek. Parang siya, orphanage. So yung mga victims of abuse na mga bata, kinukupkup nila. It's 30 hectares of land. They teach them how to farm, to be sustainable, magbatik, gumawa ng mga batik clothings, woodworks. Tapos, ang gamit nila is Summerhill School method. Kumbaga, they don't force the students to attend classes. Parang napaka-relax lang. Pero paano sila ini-encourage is yung mag-participate sila dun sa mga skills training sa loob ng institution. Tapos yung kikitain nila, magagamit nila if they want to pursue their studies, they want to go to the university
Wow.
after. So parang ang
Nice.
ganda lang talaga. Sabi ko, the way it affected me as an educator, parang, oh, ang ganda. Sabi ko, tapos, sa, sana may ganito rin sa Pinas na okay,
Mm.
subsidized ng gobyerno konti, donations. And then you teach the children na mag-ipon sila ngayon
Mm-mm.
para when you go to the university, yun nga, pinag-ipunan mo yung university tuition fees mo eh, na nag nagbatik ka or dressmaking or kuan habang nandun ka sa institution. Ganda, sabi
Ang
ko.
galing.
Galing tas
So,
naliligo sila sa ilog.
how many kids do they have? How many kids do they have
Yung
so far?
mga kwan lang, 60, 70,
Wow.
from kindergarten, 6 years old to 20, andon. Tapos, galing nga eh. Parang
And
nagfa-farm.
these are kids who were victims of abuse.
Mm.
Wow.
Sabihin na natin 60 to 70%. Kasi yung iba rin, mga hindi kayang suportahan ng magulang. So, ayun,
Wow.
pinunta doon.
So
Ah,
what skills training did they receive, like the farming, the
um, yung woodworking para sa mga lalaki,
wow,
dressmaking for the girls and batik and artworks.
artworks.
Saan ba? Share ko yung screen ko. Hanapin natin ah. Basta,
Yeah.
ang ganda siya eh. Kansha 3. Kansha Naburi 3. Um, Maganda siya. Mm, para siyang, ano ba yung ginagawa nila? Saan ba yung mga photos na kinuha ko?
Oh, there, that's gonna be your YouTube.
O parang eto gumagawa sila ng mga art installations. Tapos,
Wow, that's beautiful.
oo nga eh. Tapos dito lang sila nakatira, parang village lang talaga na, paano ko ba ito palalakihin? Ah, ay, basta, maliit lang siya na school. I mean, yung land is maluwang, pero yung mga buildings is maliliit lang. Ay, nako, wala na ata dito. Pero,
Did you get to interact with the kids? I mean, you got to
oo,
interact with them.
oo, hindi ko na lang sila kinunan kasi for
Yeah,
squad. Pero
yeah,
para siyang
for
probinsya lang talaga, tas dito sila maliligo. Meron yung hagdan na bababain nila, tas liligo sila dyan. As in, ganda yung lugar. Sabi ko, wow. Yun nga, kailangan ma-share yung mga stories na ganito. Yung mga,
yeah.
kaya tama yan eh. Ang ganda ng, at least it's your medium to write, di ba? Na, paano ba? Stop share.
Mm.
Kaya,
Yeah, my medium talaga is no, thank I thank God na that I was able to also talk through your podcasts, no. So that's one of the medium that I'm able to share my voice. And the writing part, there are times when I keep thinking kasi I keep thinking. There are times when after shift, I'll go and open up my Word document. Just I'm working on something now. So it's just the idea when I every time that I'm inspired with an idea or some message pops out now from elsewhere, I just gather all my thoughts and just keep on writing. That's what I do. I just keep on writing.
hmm.
There. So that I'm so happy that you're getting into vlogging, no? So are you considering that for I mean you have a YouTube channel na now?
Oo, I started na parang 2 years ago pa. Pero
Mm.
when I started, talagang as in real na with with mga talagang text and everything and animation and yung typical na vlogging thingy, SEOs and SEO words na para
Mm.
para searchable siya. Pero na-feel ko, hindi eh. Parang masyado akong obliged na hindi ako yon. So sabi ko, tumigil ako for a year. And then nagsimula ulit ako with bits na parang stories na 1 minute or 30 seconds paunti-unti until sabi ko, this is better, less editing.
Mm.
And pag nagkwento na lang ako, as in pure kwento na hinayaan ko na lang kasi naisip ko rin kasi since OFW ako, yung anak ko, hindi rin naman niya alam kung ano ngayon eh. So parang inisip ko na lang na yan, archives ng stories ko tapos journal na lang para pag lumaki, at least meron siyang, ito yung ginagawa pala ng father ko.
Ang ganda.
Grabe.
Kuya.
Parang yun
Yep.
lang. Hindi,
You're mostly hesitant because you feel you cannot, that it's a fad, or you're mostly hesitant because it takes a lot of time from you. I mean, I just want to explore what is the hesitation in, but you
mm,
found a way to make it work naman with that short stories. But what is your hesitation?
yung una is yun. Inisip ko muna kasi yung sasabihin ng iba, yung the Baguio boy in me na parang kasi mga friends ko, Bruce ko, mga ganyan, di uso yung ganyan. Tapos I came from, yun nga, nung sa Boys High kami, na kasi tapos yung friends ko, yun yung unang nasa picture ko sa head na, anak ko, kakantsawan ka na mga yan. I mean, tas after nun na nawala yun yung una. And then one more thing is, yun nga, akala ko na parang fad. Pero at the same time, sabi ko, hindi eh. These people na nagiging good sa craft nila, hindi naman nila iniisip na fad yan eh. So, nung kuwan na, I think parang wala na rin talaga rin akong to keep me sane din. Kasi wala rin naman akong kausap dito. Mag-isa ko naman sa apartment ko. And wala rin naman gaanong Filipino community dito sa Phuket, sa Thailand. So sabi ko, sige. Eto na lang para habang namamasyal ako, at least may kinekwentuhan ako. And at the same time, wala na. Inisip ko na lang, I don't need any validation from anyone na. Hindi na ako kwan. So, sinimulan ko na lang, I don't care if I have 5 likes. So, ang habit ko ngayon, pagka-upload ko, hindi ko na binabalikan eh. Parang, hinayaan ko na lang doon. Tapos, if there's a comment, ganun, okay lang. Tapos, parang ito yung visit ko na lugar na, yun, gumawa ulit ako ng video na inisip ko lang ang nasa the way I picture it, ang binivisualize ko lang is paano if natapos na to pandemic, tapos parang ang ganda nito kasi may na-discover kaming hotel na floating yung kwan niya, yung accommodation nasa ibabaw mismo ng river, parang raft na hotel. Tapos sabi ko, sana ang daming Pilipino makapunta rito kasi ang mura, parang 2,400. Good for 3 people. Tapos, buffet ang breakfast saka dinner. So, parang 800 per day. Tapos, only pa yung pagkain mo. So, sabi ko, parang kailangan i-share to.
Nice.
Ang mura naman yan.
Oo, tas sabi ko,
Yeah. Sobra.
dapat malaman to ng mga tao. Ako, share ko ulit. Sige, habang kakantuhan naman tayo.
Sige.
Yes, please.
Ito yung pinuntahan ko. Sa Kanchanaburi. Hindi naman siya, kahit tinanong ko if, is it COVID price lang? Hindi naman daw, sabi nung kwan. So
Wow,
parang
it looks
eto siya.
beautiful.
Oo, river.
Ang
Tapos
ganda
yun na yung
naman.
veranda mo. Ayun na yung room mo doon din sa loob.
Ang
Though
ganda
creepy
naman.
paggabi.
Ang ganda.
Parang ang ganda siya. Paano ba 'to? Yun. Tas 800 lang, tatlo kayo kasi ang luwang niyan, eh. Ang luwang tapos
Mm, that that looks so nice.
oo, sabi ko nga parang
Gusto
kailangan
ko na
i-share
How is the
tuloy.
natin.
water? Did you get to swim or was the water warm or was it cold?
I didn't swim kasi malalim daw 'yan, eh, sobra. Tapos, unfortunately parang may kaingin na nangyari nung andun ako. Kaya parang mausok. Pero, yun, maganda.
Ah,
Ano ba? Meron yung mga, diba, kansya. Meron yung umulan eh. Yung tamang timing na umulan tapos andun ako. Ayun, parang ganda. Anda lang, umupo lang ako. Parang, it's fun nga, kaya sabi
Yep,
ko,
it's beautiful.
relaxing.
um, tapos, ayun, ito rin, ito yung, merong movie to eh, and my book, I think, yung Death Railway. Yung may isang British soldier, di ba? Tapos, na-capture sila ng Japanese. I think, and then pinunta sila sa Burma Thailand Railway para i-build yung etong railway na to. Tapos tinorture siya nung Japanese soldier na yon. Nasa movie yun
Mm.
eh. Tapos nag-meet sila after few years nung tormentor niya, yung torturer niya. Tapos they found peace. Pangalan nun,
Oh, interesting.
um,
They,
ng movie yun. Uh, I don't know. Pero ito, The Railway
the
Man.
bridge on the river. Ah, okay.
The Railway Man, si... Ayan. So, yun. Pero, okay naman. Kaya sabi ko, napakaganda kung i-share natin. Anyway, sa akin lang
Yep.
yun. Segue.
Sayang eh. No, I mean, I was just picking your brain. What was the hesitation? And yeah, it is. No, if somehow you are thinking about what other people say, I'm glad that you overcame that. No, I'm so glad. And then the second barrier was it's a fad, but I'm glad naman that you also overcame that and found value. Na make it organic. No? At least have a vision of what your content would be, what you'd like to achieve through that, and make the growth organic. No, just sabi nga nila, it's not really, you don't need validation from the outside to do what you to be able to find an avenue to share your talents. Just your job is to just keep speaking your message, and that message will find its way to the people that need it.
Mm-mm. Yun nga eh. So, parang bumalik din ako sa purpose talaga na just to tell stories. Yun lang. And after that, parang I don't care na. Pinupush ako ng misis ko na, yeah, you add thumbnails, you do like this. So sabi ko, hindi na. Parang mas gusto ko yung ganyan para hindi ako yung ayoko na naman isipin na parang masyadong commercial na vlog na
Mm.
parang gusto ko rin yung ganyan
Mm.
na raw, madumi. Para
Mm.
pure lang siya.
Mm-mm. Authentic, real.
Yeah. Meron nga yung parang ang gawain lang niya is parang dinodocument lang yung pag-fishing niya every day. It's very raw. Pero it gets millions of views. Yun
Mm.
lang. Hindi na siya na problema sa
Oo.
content. Kasi lagi lang siyang, yung ginagawa nila araw-araw. So, you fish. A lot of people siguro find it so relaxing just to watch people fishing. So,
Tama.
he found, diba? He found it his niche. Na it's authentic and he doesn't have to be so stressed
Mm-mm.
about the editing part. All he does is document it, and then somehow the message reached a lot of people, and now it's giving back. It's the value, diba? That and he's receiving it, diba? He has a million.
It seems like
Yeah.
he's doing what he likes to do then. He's enjoying what he does.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Ayun. So, Kwan, ano na yun to? Ano daw ang kwan natin sa books? Sige.
Yeah, we're talking about I think books, no, today.
Mm-mm. So, ate, may question ako.
Yeah, what's your
Para,
question?
how, ever since ba, nung bata ka, parang may inclination ka na to write? Or parang how did you build your interest ba sa books? Parang sa'yo na rin to, Mary. Parang sa atin na rin. Pagkwentuhan na rin natin. How did we get into books ba?
Sure.
Well, I grew up with with a library
Mm-hmm.
inside my room. So being an only child, I had no other way except to deal with life. I didn't have brothers and sisters to play with, no. Plus I didn't think I played with a lot of neighbors. So it was all books. So my lolo in Bingovilla, Mary, there's a bookshelf, no, full of books. I think
Yeah.
that's how my um, passion for books started. Writing, it comes out naturally, Marco, when you read, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
You read a lot. So parang you tend to translate, your perception tends to manifest in the way that you speak and the way that in when you write. So it's probably because when you read, no, you fill yourself up with so much information, then the manner of your speaking changes, also the manner of your writing changes. So that's probably why I really love reading. How
Mm.
about you?
Kay Mary muna.
Oh,
How
Mary.
about you, Mary?
Mary.
Paano ka na nagsimula for reading, and do you write as well, Mary?
Um, for reading po, I started when I was in elementary, I think. Pero nung mga early grade school, Lola B gave me a collection of American Girls Collection, yung name niya. And it's short stories about little girls who were living in America, about very lang, their mundane lives. So, na-enjoy ko siya, and may mga pictures pa. So, at that time, that I think that's how I was able to develop my interest in reading. And then when I went to school, um, ayun, yung una kong pinupuntahan or yung tambayan ko talaga is the library. So I
Mm,
remember I'd always borrow those Nancy Drew books. Yung pinaka-old Nancy Drew books, I read them in our library before. And then high school came, ganun din, tambayan ko library. So I always borrow books. Tropa ko na yung librarian every time. Tapos, ayun, they always knew me as the person who loves books even nung high school, kasi ako yung tipo na nagdi-discuss yung teacher pero nagbabasa ng libro. So,
mm,
yung textbook gagamitin kong pang cover sa actual novel that I'm reading. And then yun, habang nagdi-discuss yung teacher ko, kasi that's how obsessed I was when
with
until now
books.
naman, pero yeah, especially with novels and yun yung mga books na yun. And when I'm not really that into writing. It's not a habit, but I enjoy writing kasi when no high school, most especially, yung journalism class. So every day we were told to write something, anything under the sun, and that's how I started enjoying about it, kasi kahit ano pwede daw we could write anything we want. So that's how I developed it. And ayun. But I really love reading. It never, I never really lost it. So kaya siguro medyo na um ano yun, I find reading really easy for me. Kahit anong libro, I'll just read it,
Mm.
and yun yung reading comprehension nga. That's pagdating sa mga exams, like entrance exams ng college or yung mga other exams, 'di ba may reading comprehension, yun yung laging
Oh,
mataas na score ko.
mm.
So, I think reading when I was really young helped me develop that. So yun. How about you, Kuya Marco?
Mm. Well, yung technical side of reading, paano ba, yung kung paano ako nagsimula talaga is because of my mom. So, yung both parents ko nga kasi are blind. So, they couldn't see. So, pero my mom was nakaka may nakakakita siya until I think um her late teens. So she knows the alphabet. So, but being the firstborn, I need to read for them. So, I
Mm.
started reading early ba. Parang my mom bought yung magnetic alphabets na para sa fridge. Tapos yon tuturuan niya ako combination of vowels and consonants. So parang early age, bago pa ako pumasok sa school, alam ko na. Tapos kung yung mga signages, yun doon ako nag-train. Yung you need, yanon, you need
Mm.
grocery or
Oo.
People's Park or ayan, Sandico Street, mga ganyan-ganyan.
Mm.
Ayun, doon ako una. And then, lumaki din ako sa lola. Kaya, meron yung mga, alam niyo yung mga nagdo-door to door noon na
Mm.
Bible stories. Ayan, yung yellow book na yon na maraming Bible stories. Ayun, yun yung mga una kong binasa, yung mga nagsasangla ng encyclopedia, yung mga
Ah.
nagbebenta ng dictionary. Ayan,
Mm.
kaya I started reading na gano'n, and then Reader's Digest until
Yeah, I love.
parang nung elementary ganon, mga encyclopedia, Reader's Digest. Tapos nung kuwan na, um, when I went to high school, hindi naman kasi ako mahilig sa sports eh. Karang ngayon na lang ako nag-exercise. Pero nung high school, ayan, sa library lang ako, and napakaganda naman ng library kasi ng Boys High noon. Tapos
Mm.
hindi lahat nagba-basketball, pero ako pupunta ako sa library. Yung mga uh, journals ng mga Boy Scout, yan, binabasa ko lang. Tapos, one time, alam nyo nun, parang I went to high school early 2000, mga ganyan, 99, ganyan. Tapos, yung uso nun yung mga makakapal na novels, di ba? Tapos, parang ang cool,
Mm-mm.
sabi ko. Ang astiga, papasok kami ng school, mga makakasabay mo sa jeep, may mga hawak na mga kapal na ganun. So, trinay ko lang, humiram ako sa library, Ogmandino. Tapos, nakita ng teacher ko, oh, you read Ogmandino pala. Tapos tinanong niya na ako. So, parang kailangan ko nga talagang basahin para may sabihin ako. So, ayun na. Parang ganun na rin. Parang kay Mary, nagbabasa na rin ako sa loob ng klase. Lalo pagka physics, hindi ako nakikinig, mga ganyan. Chemistry ako. Nagbabasa lang ako. As ganun, nahuhuli-huli rin ng teacher. Pero it's what I really like eh. Same din nung university na, since hindi ko naman gusto ang nursing, ganun din. Nagbabasa-basa na rin lang ako. Library, as friend ko rin yung mga librarian sa university. Kaya,
Naging friends talaga ninyo yung mga librarians. No?
mm,
Trinopa
Opo.
niyo yung librarians. Very, very
Yes.
nice.
Para more books.
Well,
mm,
kasi I don't remember na trinopa ko yung librarian naman. You know? But
mm.
that's,
As
okay.
ayun, after that, yan na, nagsimula na akong nag-collect ng books. Tas sa pagsusulat naman, I always wanted to write eh. Pero Ewan ko lang. Hindi ko lang mai-push talaga sarili ko. Parang masyadong malikot pa yung isip ko na hindi ko alam saan ako magsisimula for now.
Mm.
Pero yeah, soon. Parang kailangan din.
It is, alam mo, ang writing naman, you just have to start with with something, no? Whatever random thoughts you have, just give it. And then on your next, I just keep on writing. No? When the ideas flow, I just type and type and type and type. Or when I have an idea notebook, when I think of something, sinusulat ko kaagad. No? And until such time, kapag nasulat ko, tinatransfer ko yan sa Word document. Then on the next, so it's a matter of rewriting and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. So gumaganda siya na gumaganda as you go through time. Just don't let but again, it has to you have to be authentic about it, because I love doing it. But there are times when I space out. There are times like meron time na in my element ako na talagang everyday ako nagsusulat. Pero may time din naman na tumitigil siya. Kasi doon siguro ako ng time na parang nag-accumulate ng knowledge. Yun yung time na nakatigil ako. Tapos pag enough na, doon ako nasa creation mode naman ako. Time na sulat ako na sulat. Parang now I'm in my accumulation phase. Parang at this time I'm not writing. No, I'm just jotting down the ideas as they come along. But there will come a time siguro kapag yung magigising ka, then you start to write again. So.
Parang, ayun nga parang, I tried dati. Bumili ako ng yellow pad, lalo nung nasa university. Parang sabi ko, I'm gonna write a novel na. Kailangan na to. Kasi yun yung super dami ko nang binabasa, as ang feeling ko na establish na yung influence ko. So I need to write. Pero laging ganun, makakatapos ako ng certain pages, tapos maiiwan ko, tapos hindi ko na maitutuloy. Pero ayun, sobra kasi, that's the problem. Yun nga, I now think na yun, firm believer nga ako ng multi-potentiality, di ba? So parang lagi kong ang bilis ng circulation ng ideas and yung gusto, parang for now, okay, I'm editing video, tapos hindi, kailangan ko na rin simulan yon. I always feel na hindi enough yung oras, ganon, and siguro sa writing, ganon din. But I know na meron yung time na uupo rin ako. I still write every day, journals, yung sa journal lang, susulat lang, insights, pag may narinig ako sa isang podcast, and then I write about it sa journal ko, tapos ganun lang. Pero books, grabe, hindi ko siguro kaya magsulat for now. Kaya ang galing nung sa inyo, ate.
No,
How long?
Actually, the journals, the things that you journal, kasi meron, di ba, may mga tao that they've translated their journals into actual books, may mga ganun na tao. So, that can be your source of your book someday, no? The insights that you've built through all the years, no? The things that you've heard. You don't actually need to create na kasi you're there na, nag-journal ka na. That can be the source someday. Na if somehow you want to put your message out to the world, it's just a suggestion, but that can be a worthy, but if it's novels that you want to write, yung part na yun, believe din ako kasi iba din yung creative imagination talaga ng mga, diba, mga fiction writers. I mean, it's amazing how they can come up with worlds that are out of this world. No? How can they?
Ano yung book?
Sadly for me, I don't see myself as a writer talaga. But it's not a habit for me. Pero yung usual na ginagawa ko, I write sometimes when I feel inspired. Like sometimes pag may naisip ako na magandang thought, na it's like journaling in a way, pero hindi siya, I don't do it daily. Pero when I think of something inspirational or when just a thought, kasi that's when I started writing it on a notebook. And then when I go back to it, I'll remember about it. Or even just a memory that I want to remember just by writing it. Yun,
Mm.
I write it down. And then I used to have, I hindi naman used, but I had this close friend of mine wherein we're not that close anymore. Pero we had this practice kasi na we have this notebook and then we'll share it together na magsusulat ako ng thoughts ko and then the next day bibigay ko sa kanya
Mm-mm.
and then he would write down his thoughts and then parang in the end of the day we will see each other's thoughts. So parang it became a practice for me alone, a personal practice. So I think ganun lang na yun in connection with what Ate Colleen said, no, kahit
Mm.
yung thoughts mo would be a good inspiration for what you're gonna write in the future. That's a
Yeah.
good practice to do din, a good habit na kahit random thoughts na hindi naman kailangang everyday that you will journal everything. So I
Mm-mm.
guess for anyone who listened to this, parang that's a good practice to do din. Something to look back to when you want to be creative,
Mm-mm.
when you want to be inspired, to just remember something before. Yung mga random thoughts lang, sentences, kahit nga ako,
Mm-mm.
kahit bad words, when I feel so frustrated or very emotional, then that's when I write. So, may time nga, yung mga sinusulat ko lang sa isang notebook ko is mga poor bad words and then I'd go back to it. Why did I feel that way? And then I remember it and then I'll go back to it and at least I learned already right now. So parang ganun. So writing for me is not really a habit, but it's something that I go to when I feel overwhelmed, when I feel like I need to be inspired then, or when I just want
Yes.
to remember something very important. Kaya that's writing for me, and I guess it helps then when you want to write a book or just to be inspired.
Yeah, so, 'di ba, like you said, no, for others it's a way of creation. Writing is a way of creation. For others it's a way of insight building, no? For others it's a way of catharsis, no? Just to have, when you're overwhelmed. So it puts you in a path to healing, to reflection, or to creation. So whatever works for you, no.
Yes.
So for anybody who listens, no, and that's why probably journaling is um one of the one of the best rituals that you can start, to like to probably that something that you can start with. It Stoics ano din advocate journaling, no. I think it helps you nga, it helps you heal, it helps you reflect, and it helps you, in the future create something, no, for the world,
Mm-mm.
di ba?
Mm.
Good.
Um, Yun eh, I never thought na napakaganda nun ng journaling eh. Kasi, ayun nga, I'm always, napaka-killjoy ko lang talaga sa lahat ng maraming bagay. If you notice lagi kong kinokontra lahat ng naririnig ko. Pero, ayun, yeah, journaling is really good. Since the start of this year, I've been doing it every day. Hindi, meron yung mga araw naman, pero bibilang sa kamay na yung nag-skip ako. Pero it's really helpful. Parang what I do is, um, yun, meron akong insight section every after my workout every
Mm,
morning. Tas
wow.
yung insights lang, yung mga thoughts na narinig ko, maaari from a podcast and then or yung reflection ko while working out. And then babalikan ko yan ng hapon, yun na yung mga parang if I want to share something, yun na yung journal ko na main. And then of course, yung mga gratitudes na sa huli. And yan nga, sabi ko, it helps naman talaga. Parang same din with Mary when I get frustrated, tatakbo agad ako, pupunta agad ako sa journal ko. Tapos
Mm.
magsusulat agad ako. It's really good eh. Na I think sana maraming gumawa rin na if It's really helpful.
Yep. I'm sure some people will benefit from this, no? So
Mm-mm.
they some people here, maybe I can
Yes,
start journaling.
some people kasi they prefer to just voice it out. Pero for some people who can't voice it out, it would be very helpful to just write it down din minsan kasi just expressing yourself even through writing would be a big way to understand how you feel nga. So, yun.
Mm. Yun, some people voice it out na banggit mo na rin, Mary. Isa pa yun eh. It's when, I think when I was not journaling, there's higher tendency that I will write something stupid on Facebook. Kaya at least kung may journal ka, dun mo na lang
Sa'yo
isulat.
lang.
So,
Oo.
Oo, tapos mamaya magsisi ka sa na-post mo. At
yeah.
least sa journal,
Yes.
kaya ayun.
Very wise. No, you
Mm.
kids are very wise. Very, very nice because you don't want to put something out there that you will regret for the rest of your life.
Puro
Tama.
bad words na yung ipopost sa Facebook.
Uh,
Pero buti sinusulat na lang.
uh,
Oo. At least sa'yo muna. Kung gusto mong i-publish sa future, di ba?
yeah.
Ayun, sa books. Books naman tayo. Um, ano na yun? Um, may share ba kayo na siguro yung una sa mga yung mga earliest books na nabasa nyo na may impact na naidulot sa inyo or may parang wow, the way you look at things nagbago nung nabasa mo to, yung mga mga sinauna pa lang na books na nabasa ninyo.
Dami. Dami. Ikaw, Marco, ikaw muna.
Ah,
Maybe the book that caused the most impact in your life. Hirap na ano.
ang hirap nga ng tanong yan, sobrang dami. Kung nga no, ba't ako gumawa ng tanong na ganon? Parang sobra,
So,
parang
na, siguro hindi yung most impact kasi ang dami naman talaga may impact. But if you were to, let me think of a question. If you're if there's one book that you want somebody to read now, no, because it affected so much change in you, what would you recommend?
ah, ang dami.
Hindi mo na favorite yun.
I can siguro pinaka pwede kong gawin is to recommend tatlo. Kasi sa sobrang
Ay,
dami ang hirap eh pagka and now the things that I'm gonna say now siguro might change kasi yun, meron ako makakalimutan for sure. Pero yung mga
that's okay.
naalala ko, siguro it's funny nga eh na binabanggit ni Steffi kahapon yung Harper Lee. Pero isa rin yun eh. I remember reading that sa stairs ng UB kasi doon ako nag-college noon. Tapos yung To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a
Um,
Mockingbird.
Kasi yun eh, that's kung ano ako ngayon, my descent towards inequality and
Mm-hmm.
unfair treatment of people, isa yun na influence sa akin eh. Kasi 'di ba yung To Kill a Mockingbird is about yung isang African American na um na queenan nila, pinaratangan ng rape ng white girl in the South. So, and then eventually pinagtanggol siya ni Atticus Finch, yung protagonist natin na attorney, na lawyer. So, white lawyer. Tapos, ayun. But in the end, linynch din yung African American na yon. So, parang to think na yung main character din natin is si Scout Finch, which is around 13 or 10 years old yung character na yon, na ang ganda na na yun, namulat lang ako. And to think na babae yung nagsulat noon in the 60s, si Harper Lee, and then to think na she's from the South din, sabi ko, ang galing naman ito. So, ayun. Tapos, ang kwan ko yung malapit ako sa mga female writers din kasi lalo. Awan ko, pero sila yung mga talagang nagsusulat about yung mga descent nila. Ayun, so si Harper Lee siguro. And then yung sa Philippines, si Lualhati Bautista. And we all know Lualhati Bautista is grabe rin magsulat when it comes to issues sa government. O yun, yung mga books niya, Gapo, about sa US bases sa Pampanga. Tapos yun, yung dekada 70. And yun, both nga inadapt sa film din pati yung To Kill a Mockingbird. Nung pinanood ko yung To Kill a Mockingbird, yun din, ang ganda, classic na ang
Classic.
ganda film.
Yeah.
And yun, siguro kung babasahin. And then, marami, mga history related books. Animal Farm ni George Orwell. Yun, ayun na naman, napakalapit na mga binabasa ko about politics. About naman sa communism, yung si Animal Farm is, anong tawag sa genre na allegory. Yung animals yung character. Tapos, kasi, di ba, British si George Orwell. So, parang hindi siya pwede, and sinulat niya to during Cold War. So, hindi siya pwedeng, I mean, World War II, I think, hindi siya pwedeng magsalita against Russia. So, ang ginawa niya, gumawa siya ng book na yung character si animals, yung nagsasalitang animals, parang ano
Mm-mm.
bang tawag doon, fables. Pero allegory, parang for example, si Stalin, si Old Major, tapos si Trotsky, yung basta may names yung character, baboy sila. Baboy sa loob ng farm. So
Mm.
parang itong mga animals na to, parang pinag-aagawan nila kung sino mag-rule sa farm. Parang kwento lang niya yung situation
Okay.
sa Russia based on yung farm na setting. So sabi ko, nung nabasa ko, ang
Mm.
kulit. Pwede yung pangbata
Why
na...
do you
Mhm.
go ahead?
No, it's
Sorry,
okay.
I didn't mean. No, I'm so curious now. Why does that there's a pattern to the books that you like. It's history, it's politics, it's inequality. Why do you think those books resonated to you? I
Mm,
mean, why are those things that you enjoy
ang ganda ng tanong na
or
yan, ano?
nagre-resonate? Yeah. Do you
Ang
ever
ganda.
think about was it does it resonate because you've experienced that in your life in the past, or you've seen so much inequality that somehow it resonates and you're drawn to those types of books? Because I've not read any of those books, to be very honest.
Probably. Ang ganda nga ng tanong na yan kasi parang ngayon ko lang nare-realize bakit drawn ako sa mga books na ganun. So
Mm.
siguro, ngayon na I'm thinking about it, parang, yeah, siguro exposed. First of all, yun nga, anak ako ng mga visually impaired persons. And at the same time, sila mama kasi they fight for their rights My father is
Okay.
he's the first president of the Philippine Blind Union in Baguio.
Mm.
And he's one of the advocate na um, yung people with disability should not uh, mamalimos, should not beg,
Mm.
na they should work hard. That's why yun Philippine Blind Union. Kaya nga you
Mm.
should work, you should prove your worth, and ganon. So parang, but at the same time, nung bata ako, we were sent to good schools. So
Mm.
parang the way people see us, syempre, hahatid ka ng parents mo. And for example, when I went to, yun, Mount Carmel, ako nung bata ko.
Yeah.
Tapos, it's a good school. Ang, may mga for me, it's, tapos, but they always see my parents na siguro yung stereotype sa mga bulag na,
Mm.
yan na, yan, ganito, ganyan, ganito. Even though hindi. So I feel na I always keep on defending that. I mean, I know that
Mm. Okay.
kulang siguro yung education na syempre bata rin yung iba, and then that's
Mm.
what they see, and the overpasses na may namamalimos. So but I always feel na parang I always have to fight for something. I always feel na parang I always have to justify something. And yun
Justify.
din, yung mother ko is ganun eh. Every time mayroon siyang hindi nakikitang maganda, she fights for it. No, naalala ko nung bata ako, 7 or 8 years old. 9 siguro. Mga ganun. Pero nasa overpass kami sa Center Mall. Tapos meron yung mga katutubo, yung mga ETA ba? Yung mga ETA na
Mm.
umaakyat ng Baguio para mamalimos
Mm.
doon. Tapos meron
Yep.
yung isang police or basta public official na sinisigawan. Tapos, syempre, akay-akay ko noon si mama. Tapos, asan yon? Sabi niya, tara, lapitan natin. Tapos, talagang, kanya, talagang paglalaban niya, pagtatanggol niya yung
Mm.
mga yon na hindi mo dapat ginaganyan, ganito gaya, gaganunin niya yung pulis. Buti nga nung mga time na yon, yung mga pulis natin is okay pa. Kung siguro ngayon, minsan may mga altercation na delikado. Pero yun, yung mama ko, parang napaka-brave. Kaya ang tingin ko sa
She's
babae
so
talaga
cool.
I
is
know.
talagang, isipin mo, blind, tapos, tara, lapitan natin, ganyan. Kaya, after nun, sabi ko, yun, it's good to challenge everything. Parang sabi ko, parang kung ano is, yun, drawn na ako sa mga ganun.
Mm.
Mga ganun na issues. Yeah.
Very nice. I'm curious, Marco.
Hmm.
So now you know you're drawn. Diba, you realize that there's probably a connection with what you've been through to the books that that has resonated with you. And we'll get to Mary soon. No? I'm so curious about the book she's recommending now. I guess looking at the future now, if you look at the vision of who you want to be,
Mm-hmm.
How will those, how will your past connect to the future of who you want to be? I mean, how do you, diba? Like, have you ever thought about that? I'm throwing you a difficult, probably difficult question when I'm putting you on the spot to answer, but obviously there's that resonance of you being able because to see what we have not seen and therefore to tell a story that we've not heard, no? And
Mm-hmm.
somebody that can advocate for the obvious, for obvious reasons, you have that, you can have that, you probably naman mo din yung, di ba, yung courage ng mom mo, no? Don't you see that? Don't you see that connecting to your future? Like, what can you probably do?
With all the things na nabasa ko, and siguro papunta na ako doon eh. I feel. Kasi with the start of this podcast rin, and yung sinimulan ko na rin yung website, I think doon na rin papunta yung gusto kong picture na um, I don't know what I'm fighting for. I don't know what I'm advocating for. But maybe I'm advocating yung free speech and stories, and ganun siguro. That's how I see it eh, na I will keep on in the future. Anong hirap ano?
No, it's it's like it's very it fascinates me kasi now that I'm beginning to get to know you more, because that might be, diba, that might pave the path, diba, of you living your authentic self, that you're probably finding your own voice, one that will speak of the voices that cannot be heard as of the moment. Like, it's when you told me the story about the children earlier, diba? Obviously, you're drawn to those type of you know, paano ko ba? Yun yung ano mo yun yung energy mo eh. Parang it's giving voice to the unheard, no? Parang yung sana magkaroon tayo ng ganito, yung 'di ba, you visited the village that was raising kids who obviously do not have so much in life, no? So maybe that's something that you'd like to you would want to explore to yourself. Have that, ask yourself the question, 'di ba? Para you know the direction of where you're going, where your podcast podcast is going, your vlog is going, so that way the vision becomes clearer and clearer, no? As long as you keep asking yourself this questions, the answers will manifest, I'm a believer of that through time.
Tama. So,
Good.
ayun. Yeah, so siguro in the future, yeah, I would keep on doing this, and then more progressive lang siguro in sharing. And yun nga, tama. Meron akong narinig at the other day while habang nagbabike ako, may pinapakinggan akong si Quark Henares. Quark Henares is the director of rock and roll. Tapos meron siyang interview, nagtrabaho siya sa Hollywood. So tinanong siya no nag-interview, why did you come back? Bakit ka pa umuwi? You have a job in Hollywood. So sinabi niya, parang sekretarya lang ako doon in Hollywood na and then meron yung mga time na idle tayo habang nagda-drive or nagbabike, meron tayong laging iniisip, 'di ba? Parang our thoughts are being generated, tapos lutang tayo pero lagi tayong may iniisip. So sabi niya parang do what's in your sleep while your mind is drifting. Yun yung gawin mo. Yung kung ano yung iniisip mo habang nagdi-drift yung utak mo, yun yung gawin mo. Kasi
Wait,
yun yung
repeat that.
do what's in your sleep.
Do what's in your sleep
Oo. Pagka
while your mind is drifting.
do what's in your sleep, bale yung mga iniisip mo while your mind is drifting, yun yung gawin mo. Kasi it means yun talaga yung gusto mo eh. So, in my case, ito yung naiisip ko. Parang every time na yung naglalakad ako papunta sa work, tapos nag-imagine ako,
Interesting.
ito yung pumapasok sa isip ko. So, just sabi nga na you have to keep on doing something para mag-materialize yung mga iniisip mo nung time na yon. Kasi yun talaga yung gusto mo eh. You're nag-gravitate yung thoughts mo papunta doon eh. Kaya
Interesting.
gawin mo yon. Kaya nung narinig ko yun, nga no, and in-assess ko yung sarili ko, am I doing what's in my sleep, or while yung thoughts ko, ginagawa ko ba? Ano ba iniisip ko pagka nagbabike ako at hindi ako nakikinig sa kahit ano? So kung ano iniisip ko noon is, yun, parang naisip ko yung sarili ko, nagvo-volunteer, nagsusulat, nakikipagkwentuhan, nag-interview. So parang yun, sabi ko, okay naman pala, siguro papunta na ako doon. Kasi I'm doing
very
it.
Nice. Yep. So that's nice. Oh, very nice insight for you. At least you know now.
I learned something.
Yeah, me too. No, but somehow you know the direction that you're going, which is the best thing that you can do for yourself, and you know now that what tiny steps you can take to get there, no? So I will keep I will probably I'll think for you as well. I keep envisioning of who you can become out of the, as you go along. I'm so excited to see you 10 years from now and see what journey you've made so far, no? Galing.
Same. I'm
Oh,
so excited for you, Kuya Marco.
yeah. How
Thank
about
you.
you,
Thank you.
Mary?
The books that
Mm,
I would recommend at this time, ano po, the first thing
yeah.
that came into my mind was the Hunger Games trilogy.
Oh, okay.
And the Harry Potter
Oh,
series. Yeah. And
I love Harry Potter.
an additional is siguro The Shack by William Young. So I would recommend yung The Hunger Games yung una because I read it when I was in high school, and then I I read it a lot of times. Like inulit-ulit ko because
Bakit?
it's a it's I the setting is in a dystopian world, and it's you could say it's a young adult novel, but it's so
Mm,
relevant kasi I saw I saw our own world in that in that book, in that story. Um so ang maganda din dun is that the protagonist is a woman who 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 tried to do who yung the reason why she does things, or she
mm,
decides or chooses to do things, is for her own selfish reasons. Kasi nga yun nga it's a dystopian world, and then ang nangyari dun is that per district districts, and then per district two representatives, one boy and one
oo.
girl, will be chosen para to represent each district and
Mm,
to win in the Hunger Games. So the Hunger Games was made as a way, which is messed up kasi yung philosophy about that is para daw mas maging disciplined ang mga tao, kasi nga it's the
mm,
Hunger Games, you kill other people just to
mm.
win, and when
Survive.
you win you give recognition to your district, and at the same time mabibigyan ka ng prize, like
Mm,
a life worth of luxury, and then at the same time it's a way to keep the district in check, na remember, kasi the ones who organize that is the capital, and it's a way
mm,
for them to stop to rebel against them, na to keep them in check, na we're actually controlling the district, so don't you dare try to revolt against us. So
mm,
ayun, the protagonist, she joined the Hunger Games not because she wanted the glory or wanted to be represented. Kasi ang nangyayari dun is per district, what happens is by depende yung sa district niya is by raffle. So, kung anong name ang nakuha, yun yung
yun
pipiliin,
yun,
siya yung magre-represent. But at her district, what was the person chosen was one, yung childhood, kababata niya. The
Mm,
second is yung sister niya. So, she decided to join on behalf of her sister. So, she volunteered because she wanted to save her sister, because she knows what will happen in the
yeah.
end. So, it's all personal motives. It's not because she wanted to represent or the glory. She just wanted to protect her sister. Pero, ang maganda dito, as the story progresses, you get to see na um, it's not just about people trying to kill other people just to survive or just for the glory or anything. No, it's about pinapakita yung sobrang classes capitalistic system, yung unfair and unequal treatment to these districts, to these people, and how the capital, or let's say yun nga naano sa government, how the government tends to control the people para lang matahimik sila. So sobrang naano ko, like it was so gut-wrenching and heart-racing. I can't put it down kasi I wanted to know what would happen next.
Next.
And this protagonist, she won eh. So spoiler alert, she won. She won the Hunger Games.
Yeah, I think I
And
watched the trilogy as well.
yeah, it is a movie now. And at that time, she didn't she was happy she won, but at the same time, parang she became a puppet of the government of the capital. Kaya it evolved even more na this story just kept on changing, kept on evolving. Na it started from this normal average teenage girl to just being the face of a revolution. So
Mhm.
it was a great movie. And then ayun, syempre
So,
if anyone. Hmm?
so go ahead. I just wanted to ask this question. Why did it resonate so much? To you, no? Was it the fact that the protagonist was a girl, or I guess what was the main reason why it resonated so much to you during that time, or was it just fun to read?
It was at first it was fun to read. I thought it was just another young adult trilogy or series. And then oh, a girl. The protagonist is a girl. It was fun. And then I know I couldn't stop thinking about it because it's more than that na. It's not
Because you kept
just about.
reading it, diba? You read it so many
Yeah,
times. So there must be a reason behind that why the book resonated so much to you. For you to keep reading and rereading it over and over again.
because while the story progressed, I thought it's more than that. It's more than just yun nga, it's more than just people trying to survive. It's about saying F you to a very controlling organization or system that tends to control how they live. So sobrang naano ko na this story is so much more parang ganun. So
Mhm.
um when the what happened is when I read the second book and then when I went to the third book, I had to go back to the first book just so I could really digest what happened. Kasi that's when I understood na the books really tried to mirror or reflect what is really happening in real life. So hindi lang siya parang imagination or creative it's taking some piece of reality and making it into this fantasy para
Mhm.
lang um hindi na enjoyable, maging understandable sa mga readers.
Mhm.
And at that time I was just in high school. In all honesty, I never understood politics. But when I read that book, dun ko na this isn't parang na-open pa yung eyes ko na, hala,
Mhm.
what if that happened in real life? And then when I understood the motives of Katniss, yan, yung protagonist, and I understood her motives, when I understood why the capital was trying to control these districts and these people, and I said, this isn't far from reality. And then I I I became more I became more open na. And that's what that book made me do. And I wanted to be like Katniss in the end. Na
Yeah, I was
being
thinking that's probably why you went into law. The when I think about when I hear you talking about it, and I said, "Oh, this." Do you understand how much books change your life? Somehow it
yes.
redirects you to, which is so, diba, the resonance, no? You notice that this is a book that you've read over and over, and now you're somebody, no, here you found a path to live, no, to somehow, diba, in the dystopian world, you're in the real world, but you've somehow found a way to relive the character of Katniss to your path today.
Mm. Yes, ate. And what I love about how they made her character is it's not this one-dimensional person. She's so complicated in so many ways, but at the same time, her heart is still so pure. She just wanted to save her sister, and
Mm-mm.
then when and then all those complications came into her life, and then she dealt with it. But at the same time, thinking about what really meant to her. 100%. Yeah. Oh, na may revolution, but at the same time, it's about protecting the people she loves. So it was so, parang
Yeah.
you could really relate to her then. And
Mm-mm.
then seeing at the world she lived at that book in that dystopian world, it's sobrang grabe. And then you'd get then it's not that different then from reality. So you'd really want to be that kind of girl, that kind of so brave enough, and never forgetting na you never forgetting the people you really love while you go through that. So sobrang ako, I
Right.
really loved it. And then yeah, and Harry Potter. If everyone would like to start with reading, go with Harry Potter.
I know. But why Harry Potter? Why did it what hooked you to read Harry Potter from the start to finish to the seventh book? What is it that resonated with you again? And who character resonated with you the most?
I think ganun din ate. It started out as, oh, magic, wizards and witches.
Yeah.
Like this is cute. But then
Yeah.
you think like, oh, it's really just about it's just a children's book. But then as the story progresses, you get to see now, oh my god, it's so much than that. Kasi ayun, I remember this part na in the story of Harry Potter na lalo na kay Dolores Umbridge.
The Lord.
Ah, yeah. Um, I hated her so much. Ano lang, pinakita dun na there are people who would see, um, parang yun nga, yung inequality din sa mundo nila.
Mm-mm.
Na if you're muggle born, if you're not really, ayun, din, kaya nagkaaway din yung mga wizards and witches because syempre, di ba, they think na they're better than any other people, na yung power hungry din, sobrang power hungry din nila. And then, yun. And then I resonated so much then with Hermione, of course.
Hermione, yeah. Very
Yeah.
smart, no? Very smart. Okay. Yeah, there's a
Sobrang,
lot of it. When I look at you both, there's a lot of just an insight, no? The stories that resonate so much for you are people who have been able to um overcome so much, no, who have been underdogs, but then they've been able to get through. No, not necessarily Marco is all about history kasi inequality, but people who have overcome so much, no. And to share na as a
mm,
Filipino people, no, when they studied Filipinos, we're very, very, very focused on the past. And I'd like you to think about it. That's why we like to talk about utang na loob, debt of gratitude.
mm,
We like our telenovelas reflect about the things that there's the protagonist who started very poor and was able to rise above the barriers in life and come
mm.
out the rich, those things, no. But there's a drawback to that because it's the mentality that's keeping us so focused on glorifying our underdog status. It's
Yeah.
and yeah, and we're so focused on the past. uh Somehow you become blinded to what the future can offer you,
Mm-mm.
right? That's why people don't like financial literacy. They don't like saving because they live it all up to fate, diba? Or faith na bahala na. That's why we don't have a lot of future research, no? Do you see a lot of do you see
Mm-mm.
us inventing, do you see us getting and inventing, have you seen us doing research for the future, like inventing cars that will eventually self-drive, like, or um trying to get ahead of us of the disease, no, trying to invent an MRI or a CT scan or a drug that can heal. We don't have that, unless not too open about things, but do you agree that as a nation, we're not we're not so future
Yes.
thinking? We're averse, no? Ang attitude natin towards the future is bahala na,
Mm-mm.
because we're so grounded in the past. Like, not up until today, we keep talking about Marcos. Until up until today, we keep di ba? But where is our conversation? We don't have that conversation of what we'd like our future to be, what we'd like our nation to be, unless some politician goes there, hey, this is the roadmap that we want. But as Filipinos, do we ever really, yes, we dream of that, but do we start doing something about it? Aren't you?
Mm.
I'm ask. I like asking questions. I'm so curious kasi that's something that I've seen as patterns in when I, you know, interesting na.
Yeah, sobra. Um, for me is that I think it's changing na that somehow before, yeah, there
I
are
think too. I
people,
think too.
but yeah, it's changing because of how people already takes in information. So um for me kasi in connection lang to the books that I've recommended, kasi ang napansin ko rin, they're all young adult novels. They're young adult series and stories. They're targeted to young adults. I read it when I was in high school, and I'm so grateful that I read it in high school. And I know a lot of people read it then. And until now, Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, um there's so many books targeted to young adults, and I guess that's why a lot of people change their mindset. I think I'm not saying they're all like me who were just because of books, but ayun, the way that information was able to be given to them, that's how it affects them as well. I'm happy kasi there are people na parang meron atang senior high na nakita ko sa YouTube, very much into financial literacy. And then yun yung niya sa YouTube, yung mga topic niya. And she's only a senior high student. Tapos, I saw this post on Facebook wherein, sabi dun is, non-verbatim pero sabi, galit kayo sa mga, you let children read Harry Potter and other books, and yet you get angry at them when they try to criticize the government. So doon ako na kasi at the first place, yeah, they might say it's just a children's book, pero Harry Potter is so much more. Inano nga yung kahit inequality, the barriers, the trying to be against those power hungry people. And I think yun yung maganda. That's why I think it's changing. Kasi the way that I think yung nagsulat nun, of course, si J.K. Rowling, yung iba pang authors like Rick Riordan sa Percy Jackson, they're very old. They're boomers, or yun nga, they're around 50s or 60s na, or 40s. I think they wrote those books in a way para yung mga magbabasa dun would learn from what they've experienced before. And they just made it even more interesting and creative for them to understand it better. Na this, yes, it's fantasy, yes, it's fiction, but yun nga, I'm lucky enough to understand that actually it's reflective of what's happening right now. Kaya sobrang ko sa mga libro. It's a great gateway, and that's why I think it is changing because of that. And very big factor din yung mga ganun creatives na at their 50s or already at their 30s, kasi they're the ones who's teaching people at like my age, or yung mga young people, about how to correct themselves na and how to learn from the world they grew up in before and how they could change it. So yeah, it's changing because of that. I could say it is slow because yeah, there are people trying to block those vital information, or those criticizing enough without really thinking. And but I still think na even though it's a long way to go, we're moving, and that's a
Yep.
good thing. And I'm so happy because uh yeah, people like you, ate and kuya, I am learning from you, and at my age I'm so grateful because of that. And I think people need to, we need more people like that, those who are not afraid to share. And
Yep.
and yeah, I hope I'm doing my part. But
You are.
that's what I think naman, ate, na
Yep.
we're
Eh,
changing, we're slowly going from that mindset na
mm-mm.
being stuck in the past, because somehow we could see naman na there are people doing their best to help and
Yeah.
to teach people to do better, and they
Mm.
and those people who listens are getting better. Kaya that's what I
Yep.
think. Kaya sobrang ano,
Yes, and
yay.
you brought the. I just wanted not to speak the truth, no, and I hope that you realize that. That's why I like to ask questions because I like to pick what's in your brain. Um, the thing is, no, and I always revert back to what I mentioned when I first spoke to you guys. There are two things that will change your life, Mary. It is the books that you read and the people that you
Mm-mm,
associate with.
I agree.
That is, the people that you associate with obviously can change your life because of the paradigm shift. No, you cannot keep solving. You cannot move towards your future if you keep thinking. Um, if you don't change your paradigms, if you don't change your mindset, you want a better future, then that has to change. That has to come from a better mindset. Plain and simple. You cannot dream your way into a person that you wish to be with the same mindset that you have today, because something has to evolve. Something has to change within you to grow you, not to move you forward to the person that you really wish to become. And that's what books, no, the books that you
Mm-mm.
read out there are from the best minds. So you get to imagine, you get to pick the brain of J.K. Rowling, or no, or the all the Lualhati Bautista. You get the best minds out there. Even if you've not met them, you have a piece of their mind that you can gain insight from, and therefore become better and move toward a better you, diba? That's why I keep asking
Yes.
what resonates with you, what resonates with you, and why does it resonate with you? Because somehow those are the answers to your life's questions. When you keep asking when you keep asking yourself good questions, you get the best answers, and you get direction, or you'll get the direction that you want. No, you'll get the answers of where you're headed to, no? Because, and if you no, but you guys, so look at how diverse our conversations are. Marco's favorite books are of the history, of the talagang the intellectual type, no? You are talking about fiction. My books are all about leadership and awakening. If there's one book na that I'd like everybody to read, it's The New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. No? It's not fiction. It's not, I know people don't like the genre of self-help, but it puts a lot of it answers a lot of life's questions, no? It teaches us um to silence our own ego, so that way, like you, Mary, like you, Marco, no, you get the intelligence of so many people around you, the universal intelligence, that when you silence your mind and you silence your ego and actually stop thinking about there's a lot of thoughts in your head, and then it teaches you a process how to achieve that. And then when people are in that element, they become awakened to living their best lives. It's just liberating to read that book, because that book has redirected me to a path that's more joyful and more at peace with the world around me. So ang galing ng nakakatuwa na kayo, iba-iba tayo, but there's
Yeah.
something that you can It's super diverse. It's so funny that we're talking about books, but I'm talking about from a different genre. Marco is talking from a different genre, and you but it's so nice that I got to hear you you today. No, I enjoyed this talk. No, how about you, Marco? If there's
Thank
one
you.
thing that you can, yeah, if there's one thing that you can share with the world, no, if somebody, know, what would that be? No, what is your biggest insight today?
Mm, One thing na parang na-realize ko today is, yun nga, a while back you mentioned about a lot of Filipinos are stuck in the past. But the thing is, yun, the thing that we did today is, yun, we have different kinds of books that we read from different genres. And I think we are in the transition stage now. This is the age of exchanging ideas. Ito nga lang ginawa natin is we're exchanging ideas, and the good thing is people might hear about this, and yun magge-generate din ng another idea sa kanila. So, we can get out of the circle of being stuck in the past. Kasi ayun na nga, andito na tayo eh. We're like what Mary said. Ayun, meron, pero slow. Pero andito tayo sa transition. So there's no excuse for the future that Filipinos will
Mm-mm.
still be like this, na yun, na napaka fanta nafa-fantasize nila lahat, or ayun na yung mahirap na nakapag-asawa ng mayaman, etc.
Mm-mm,
Mga
mm-mm.
ganong setup will change because of the new ideas, the sudden influx of new ideas now. And yun nga, buti meron, andito tayo sa pathway and platform na nag-exchange na ng ideas ngayon,
Oo.
so that matapos na yung circle na ganun sa bansa natin. And I think, the young people should take over as well, na
Yeah.
uh, yun kasi na masyado rin yung hierarchical natin pagdating sa family and age, na sana ayun, the young people now are still quiet, pero they shouldn't be afraid of sharing new ideas like this, na wow, ganito lang, they should embrace it. Nandito tayo sa stage na yun eh. We are in the stage na sana i-embrace ng mga bata para mas maganda, so that new ideas, we should do research, ganon. Meron na tayong research kasi totoo
Yes.
nga, there's no
Or
research
yun
nga
po,
na.
Yep.
maghanap kahit ng mentor. Kasi I think that's a very important thing. So,
Mm,
hindi lang yung parang yung um, I'm just
Yeah.
thinking na someone will just guide that person to know kung ano, where they can learn, where they could do better. Pero yun na. It's not an imposing way, but just helping that person grow to be a better
Yep.
person. And I think young people needs that.
Yep. So, any more takeaways for today, Mary, before we say goodbye? You have anything that, one takeaway that you can share? Or is it just the mentorship that you're advising, getting other young people to find a mentor?
To read, of course. To
To read,
read, to
okay.
ride.
Right. Okay.
Don't, yun nga, don't take, no one should take books for granted. I mean, it's not, just because you don't have a hard copy book right now doesn't stop you from learning. Ang daming pwedeng i-download ngayon, and that's buti nga
Mm-mm.
meron nga yung internet to download it. And you get to also see movies. Yun nga, To Kill a Mockingbird is already a movie and you get to learn from it. The Hunger
Um,
Games is already a movie and that's a good thing too. Yun nga, don't stop being creative na rin, and to be inspired. You learn those things from yun, yung mga art, from
yeah.
books, from movies, from the things you listen to in YouTube or what you read. Ayun nga, you really have to think about the books you're reading, the people you associate with, and what you're watching and what you're listening, because that will really affect how affect your mindset as you go on and grow. That's why it's a big thing to find someone who would really inspire you or who would guide you and mentor you and help you. Yun lang po. How about you, ate?
Very good. No? I guess for me, if there's one thing that I'd like to share to your listeners today, to our listeners today, it's intentionality. Um, when you're intentional about the future, I think you will learn. No, you'll be intentional about uh, by making sure that your paradigm of looking at the world shifts. No, so Marco mentioned about there's a transition ongoing already, and there's a shift in the mindset of the world, and I'm glad to be a part of it. No? My intention naman right now, na if Vietnam can 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 pivot into a very successful nation with very little people, with Taiwan can be very successful with 2 million people, with Singapore, very small nation who has a lot of millionaires per capita, no? Imagine, no, a world, imagine a Philippines that have 100 million people naturally just growing together and being intentional about making the Philippines a very successful nation. And that is possible. We just have to do our part, change our mindset, and shift it towards the future. Learn from the past, but not glorify and stay in the past, but learn from it. And just, you know, keep mentoring another. No, so yes, Mary, no, um, mentorship comes from all forms. So you can just find a way to mentor somebody, and that somebody can pay it forward and mentor somebody. Marco can, it's a ripple effect. But if we have that mindset and we can shift that mindset to one nation, imagine what can, if 2 million can achieve, no, that Singapore status, what can we achieve more as a nation? There's hope. There's so much goodness going out, diba? Going on for Marco, for you. You deserve that goodness. We just have to connect with our truth that, um, our truth is that if you are, that growth is sustaining, no, not goals. If we keep focused on our growth and we keep inspire people to do the same, to move forward, nothing is absolutely impossible. We do what we can, we keep doing what we can. For things that we can, just let it go, and let nature take its course. That's it. Now there's great love for the both of you. I love talking to you today.
Ang
Not just
ganda.
in, yeah, just you know, just you know, shameless plug. Follow. No, I'll go to your YouTube channel, Marco. No, I'll listen to your, yeah, plug it. No, and Mary. No, there's so much. No, I'm excited to see both of your future. And that when you get a chance, just call me, and whoever needs to listen to the message again today, thank you for inviting me.
Great. Thank you,
Thank
ate.
you,
Thank you so much.
ate.
Uh, Madaming insights. Thank you. Ayun. I'm on the process of reading that one, the book, New Earth. I downloaded it last month, pero I think I finished a chapter. Pero ewan ko ba, bakit naging busy lang. Pero kailangan talaga. Kailangan kong i-push yung sarili ko. At least
Yep.
one chapter a night para lang matapos.
Like Mary, that was a book that I kept reading again. No, siya yung Hunger Games. Ako yan yung niread ko. But if it doesn't resonate with you, Marco, it's okay. Now, there will come a time that it will resonate with you. But that book, I told you, diba? That book was introduced to me years back. I didn't read it. But somehow it found its way to me again. And that's a time that, oh my God, this is really, this is parang, it's awakening. This is so true. and
Mm-mm.
and always the message is take what resonates with you, because if it resonates with you now, it's a message that you need to hear. If it doesn't, then it will find its way. The message will come back to you in whatever form. No, darating at darating naman yan. But for
Mm-mm.
now, um you know let's just affirm, no, there's a lot of goodness out there for you guys, and keep on keeping on. You guys are so amazing, Marco and Mary. You're on the right track, no? I'm so proud to be associated with you guys. So, deafen mo na, no? Do not um hear the naysayers out there. Just keep the light burning from within, and
Mhm.
you'll see you trailblaze your own path. The more value you put out into this world, the more value you will receive. I assure you of that.
All right. Thank you, ate.
Ganda ate.
Ganda ng episode na
Okay.
to.
Thank you ate ha.
Oo nga, di ba? Nagkukulitan lang tayo. Nagkukulitan lang tayo.
Plano, pero okay
Oo,
naman.
Tuwa ako.
okay
Ang
naman,
cute.
Oo.
Yun nga,
Diba? Iba-iba
sayang
kasi tayo ng,
wala si
iba-iba tayo
Steph.
ng mindset. Na
Mm,
ano daw, na traffic daw siya Tapos umulan.
yun nga,
Pero next
sayang.
time, no? Pag
Oo.
pag if, diba?
Yeah,
Talk to you
well.
soon.
Sayang. Opo, see you again ate.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy week ahead, and uh bring it on, no? I hope that you envision the week to be amazing, to be one that is no again, no, fall in love with the world, fall in love with everybody that you meet, fall in love with the world, and the world will fall in love with you back. So
I
there's
love
great
that.
love. Bye.
Bye
Bye
po.
ate. Thank you.
Stay safe, ha? Stay safe, Mark and Mary. Bye.
Opo, bye-bye po.
Bye. Oo nga.
Kuya.
Ayos yun Parang it's something light.
Yeah.
Uh,
Parang no pressure din in answering Parang chill lang talaga.
Oo, dapat gawin natin 'tong mga 'to I mean, it's so nice pala na just to meet and talk and parang ang ganda nga ng ganito.
Yung random lang. Yung nga si ate, random lang. Let's talk about books. Like, oh, okay, alright, let's go.
Sige, maganda yan Sige. Ganda nung kan. Maganda yung mga books na yun. Hunger Games Grabe.
Opo.
Ganda
Tapos
pala
yung
na.
To Kill a Mockingbird, yung movie kasi yung una kong napanood at kuya. Pero I have the book. But
Mm-mm.
when I watched the movie, I said, I have to read the book. So, ang
Yes.
ganda ng movie nga. Ang ganda po talaga.
Ganda. Parang kamamatay lang ni Harper Lee 2 years or 3 years ago. Parang,
Yes.
diba?
Recent
Kaya,
lang.
it's good Parang si Harper Lee daw, yung character ni Scout is parang si Harper Lee yun. Boyish.
Oh, kaya
ah,
pala.
Kaya parang siya yun. It somehow, uh, she grew up in the South. So parang
Mm-mm.
ganun daw yun na siya daw yun.
Tapos,
Parang,
ganun pa yung reality. Which is true naman. Ganun nga talaga before.
one book wonder yan si Harper Lee. Pero sabi nila,
Oo!
may manuscript daw na i-release ng
Oh my God.
from Harper Lee. So sana nga mailabas yon kasi I mean,
Yes.
sayang naman.
Something to read
Maganda.
all again. Kuya, may suggestion ako para si Ate
Yan.
Steph, kasi siya yung sobrang excited pa naman dito. I think let's ask her na lang to make her own mini episode na. Kahit yung ginagawa ni Ate Coleen na
Oo nga. Let's
yun.
do that. Sige.
I know she has a lot to say ngayon dahil sa dami ng libro that she's reading. So, para hindi na sayang.
Oo. Parang
Uh,
pwede rin naman
yeah, let's let her.
we can join her. Makinig lang tayo. Tayo yung magtanong para or pwede rin siya lang if she's okay with it.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
Kausapin mamaya.
yung dalawang yun.
Sayang eh. Ang dami kasing libro na ang dami. Actually, not enough ang isang episode para sa libro. Ang dami kaya magagandang libro.
Mm. Yung mga
Anong
na-mention
binabasa mo?
ko, there's so much more. Po?
Anong binabasa mo now?
Kasi nagustuhan ko yung Netflix ng Bridgerton, kaya yun yung binabasa ko.
Ano yung Bridgerton? Anong meron doon?
Ano naman, kuya, it's a romantic, na.
Okay.
So,
Maganda.
very, hindi, dami kong binabasa. Ang daming genre actually. So, hindi naman ako nagsistay sa isa. So, for now, dahil nakita ko, napanood ko yung Netflix, adaptation ng Bridgerton, binasa ko yung libro. And it's a series. So, yun.
Ganda yung
How about you, kuya?
ano bang binabasa ko ngayon? Malalim eh. Hindi naman, parang ang dami eh. Halo-halo ang binabasa ko ngayon. Parang mag-iisang chapter ako sa meron akong binabasang author ngayon, si Anton Shekhnov. Basta Russian author siya. Nagbabasa ako ng short stories niya. Classics muna. Kasi at the same time, you will never go wrong kasi sa classics. Parang nagagamit ko rin siya for teaching. Kaya pag meron, at least
Yes.
parang generic siya. So, Hemingway, ganyan, meron din short stories. At least
Opo.
kasi ang bata ngayon, hindi sila talaga, though yung curriculum na tinuturuan ko is a lot of reading talaga, pero hindi sila tumatagal sa more than 4 pages eh. Talagang kayang tumagal. Hindi tulad siguro yung nung mga bata tayo na parang we can read pag sinabi ng teacher na magbasa. Or
Yeah.
hirap kasi. Pero yun. Anton Shekhnov, binabasa ko ngayon. Tapos meron akong dinownload na bago, yung Dog Eaters. Babasahin ko pa lang mamaya.
I've
Filipino
read that. I've read that nung college. It's a good one.
Si
Di require. Di require, pero maganda.
Maganda ba?
Maganda, kuya.
Basahin ko, ma'am.
Grabe, maganda.
Pero the best
Kasi
ngayon. Ano yan?
Ano pa, kuya?
Yung the best na this year na nabasa ko is yung Sapiens siguro. Parang wala pang tumatalo ngayon. 2020, 2021 parang yun pa rin yung favorite ko. Sapiens is about parang history of humans. Parang paano tayo nagsimula from nagsimula tayo as hunter-gatherers, ganon. Kaya yung i-explain yung behavior natin in relation to the past na bakit tayo kumakain ng ganito, bakit ganito yung diet natin. It's i-relate niya sa past. Bakit mataas yung carbs sa diet natin? It's because nung mga around 20 or 30,000 years ago, biglang nag-grow ang wheat, yung wheat plant, and na-curious yung mga first humans kung ano yon. And parang nag-super dami ng wheat. Doon nag-transition yung mga tao from gathering and hunting, naging agricultural age na tayo. So kaya yung diet natin more on carbs. Parang in-explain niya lahat. Kaya nakaka-amaze bakit ganito ang behavior natin.
Ang cool. Ang cool, kuya.
Super. Talagang patay na patay ako. Parang gusto kong basahin ulit.
Parang may may napanood ako before kasi nagsabi na, I don't know if it's true talaga, pero baka sinabi dun sa libro, kuya, na actually we're naturally vegan daw. Na we're not, yung body daw natin is more for vegan diet.
Siguro at a certain point. Kasi yung sabi rin sa libro, di ba, well, more plant ang kinakain ng tao nung hunters gatherers pa lang. Kasi syempre hindi pa wala pang syempre hunting is difficult, 'di ba? Pero yung gathering
Mm.
here. So mas
Easy.
maraming plant sa diet natin. Pero parang at that point 7,000 to 10,000 years lang ata 'yon bago nag-transition to yun na nga. And doon na rin nagsimula yung diseases, yung sakit. Nung once na nag-domesticate na yung animals na nagkaroon na ng farm, doon na nagsimula ang sakit.
Oh, interesting.
Kasi,
So, okay. Kasi yung background dun, kuya, is YouTuber siya eh. Kristen Leo yung name niya. And naano ko siya kasi yun nga, yeah, I mentioned her kasi 'di ba ano siya, um, environmental activist, tas ano siya, vegan. And ano, very ethical yung lifestyle niya. She sees vegan not as a diet, but
mm,
it's a lifestyle choice. The most ethical choice daw. And then yung isang argument niya is that humans are naturally vegan naman daw talaga. So, parang interesting lang na fact na yun, kuya, na nag-start yung diseases dahil naging, yung mga animals,
kasi
domesticated.
nag-gather parang animals and humans staying together. So yung diseases ng animals, hindi na hunting eh. So in-enclose na ang mga animals, di ba? So basically nakakasalamuhan na ng humans yung mga animals. So doon na nagsimula yung transmission of disease from animals to humans. Doon na nagkaroon ng diseases. Although nung hunters-gatherers kasi, syempre, wala naman talaga yung sobrang dami ng animals on a certain place mixed with humans. So, doon daw talaga nagsimula yung diseases. So, parang
Oh.
ayun, sabi nga nila, ang perfect diet daw ng tao is, yun nga, peanuts. Kasi, yun, siguro, yun, ikakan ko naman yung sinabi ng vlogger na yun. Kasi according to book of yung si Yuval Harari, yung Sapiens, ang the best diet ng humans is nung hunter-gatherers pa lang sila, peanuts and fruits. Kasi yun nga yung ginagather eh. Yun yung pwede mong
Mm-mm.
dalhin. Diba? You move to a certain place and then you carry that. So, yun yung original diet ng humans. Peanuts,
Oh.
fruits, and whatever they hunt along the way. Diba? Hindi naman natuto ang tao na mag-preserve noon kasi they travel. Natuto lang
Yes.
sila ng preservation and yung mga salting and curing of meat. Noon na nung nag-transition na from agricultural age, it's all because of yung influx ng wheatgrass. Parang
Mm-mm.
nagtaka lang yung mga tao noon, ang dami ng wheat. Ang vast ng land, ang daming wheat. Try nga natin kainin to. Nung nalaman nung tao na, wow, this is unlimited source of food, doon na sila tumigil na mag-hunt and doon na sila nagsimulang mag-build ng houses. And doon na
Mm-mm.
sila nagsimula na yung mga nahuhunt nila, ini-enclose na nila sa fences. Kaya doon na nagsimula lahat. And doon na rin yung population growth ng humans. Kasi when they stop hunting, hindi na nila kailangan magdala ng baby sa likod nila. So ngayon, pwede na silang mag-anak ng marami.
Oh,
Diba?
yeah.
Iiwan na lang nila sa house. Tapos isa na lang ang lalabas na mag-farm. So, doon na rin tumigil yung role ng woman daw na parang hindi na rin hunter ang mga babae. Parang naging household kwan na daw ang role ng woman. Kaya sabi nila, ano ba, ito bang agricultural age which started 13,000 BC, 1300 BC, parang gano'n. 13,000 before.
Mm-mm.
Ito ba'y parang curse ba to? o, o kasi linimitahan niya ng ang dami ang human race.
Uh-huh.
Doon na-build yung values eh. Doon talaga na-build nung
Opo, yeah.
agricultural
Yung
age.
system.
Kaya,
Ang interesting na sinabi ni Kristen Leo is that um, it's not naman humans that are sobrang sexist, but it's actually the nature itself is sexist, sabi niya. Doon ako natawa kasi parang, actually that is true. Given nga, in a way, medyo true kasi given yung sinabi niyo kuya na naging hunter-gatherers and then agriculture came. So it's not really forced, but because of it naturally came lang talaga na nature forced humans to do that, to be that way. Kaya naging ganun na yung trato nga ng mga ng women yung na stay na lang sa household kasi naging convenient na for them. And siguro ayun din naturally kasi which I understand and I concede din naman po talaga na yeah, men naman kasi has the capability, physical capability to carry even more weight than women in a way. So, ang hirap din kasi women they have breasts and they can't carry as much without hurting themselves. They can't run without hurting themselves given yung nila anatomy. Kaya nature as a whole is sexist. So, doon ako natawa. And at the same time, oo nga naman. It is true.
ayun. Basta, nabuhayan ako ulit. Parang gusto kong basahin ulit yun. Ganda.
Sige, kuya. Na-enjoy ko rin pa yung episode and the talk we have right now. Thank you. Thank you for your time, kuya.
Alright, thank you rin, Mary. Kausapin natin si Steffi mamaya. Pagka uwi niya.
Message ko siya.
Oo.
Just
Kailangan. Alright.
Ingat,
Sige.
kuya, ha?
Alright, kayo rin dyan. Ingat kayo. And gawin ulit natin to.